Here is a Home Essentials fan. This is a foam bladed fan, and it was made in China. Oh, great. It doesn't appear to have any kind of a model number or anything on it. I really don't remember where this came from. I know it was purchased sometime around the mid-2000s. I can't remember where it came from though. This brand is kind of odd. It's a very mysterious brand. I'm sure it's got to be like a store brand or something. I recall in school, this would have been, I guess, when I was still in elementary school, I recall there being a high velocity fan. Might have been like a 12-inch model perhaps, and it was also under the Home Essentials brand, and it seemed to be pretty powerful. It could have been an absolute piece of junk, I don't know, but this is going back to the early 2000s, so this stuff was still generally okay at the time. Unfortunately, this thing is not in the greatest of condition anymore. Looks like the paint is coming off and it's starting to rust on the bottom. And things have collided with the blades over the years, so they're all scratched up and junky. I hope the foam doesn't start cracking, although it looks like it's on its way there. It's just a really odd looking fan. There was a ceiling fan made by, well, I don't know who it was made by, but it was sold, I think it was sold at Lowe's, probably under the Harbor Breeze or Horrible Draft brand. And it kind of was the same concept as this one. It had the foam blades that looked very similar to this. And I'm sure just like this one, it didn't really move all that much air. I very vividly remember this fan from when I was younger. Something happened with the power cord, the original power cord. I think it like got stuck up. The original one came out straight. It wasn't a 90-degree one like this. And so I think what happened was it had gotten like pushed up against a wall or something, and it bent. Like the wire bent coming out, and then over time it just lost a connection. And so then my grandfather helped me get a new cord. It takes in the DC 4.5 volts. And so we went to Radio Shack and we bought a 4.5 volt AC to DC adapter. This is the Radio Shack catalog number 2731765 adapter. And we got this little thing that goes on the end. And so this is the adapter that I have for it. And this adapter has been working fine ever since. It doesn't say what the amp draw is, but I can't imagine it's all that much. It looks like it's just a little tiny shaft that goes on there. I don't think the blade comes off. Nah, it doesn't seem like it. I certainly don't want to try. It's a 2-speed model. It does have the low and the high. And it's got a very strange means of operation. It makes like a ticking sound as the motor runs. I could never tell if it was like 1 per RPM or 3 or 4 per RPM. By the time it gets going at full speed, it almost sounds like just a constant noise. Anyways, I'm going to start it up with the camera close to the motor first so that you can hear what I'm talking about. Jeez, this thing is in horrible balance. I can't believe how bad it is. Alright, so that's what the motor sounds like. Very interesting sound. So now we'll take a look at the operation of the Feyen. We're starting at 120.7 volts, and of course these readings are not really relevant to what's actually going into the motor because this is before the adapter, but we'll show it just anyways. So we'll start off on low. I don't recall it being that badly out of balance. That is ridiculous. It is shaking all over. And it's a violent shake too. You could really feel it completely out of whack. What in the world? Well, it's running. It's yeah, it moves more air than it seems like it would, but it is really quite pitiful. And it really doesn't move much air at all. So that's pulling 0.3 amps, 2 watts on the nose, and a power factor of 0.47, 45, 0.50, 0.47. Power factor's all over the place for some reason. Alright, let's go to high. And it does pick up a fair bit on high, and it actually moves an okay amount of air on high. This is still very much a form over function product, but it is providing enough air on high that if you were sitting at a desk with this right in front of you, you'd feel a noticeable breeze. It would be adequate, at least in my opinion, to feel comfortable in a close proximity. It's too bad the motor makes that noise because it's otherwise very quiet. The blades really don't make much noise as they cut through the air. Jeez, the balance is ridiculous. I can't even hold it. I can't even hold it steady. That's terrible. I don't recall it being like that. Huh. Looks like it has some vents on the front of the motor as well. Although I can't imagine that they're really letting any air through. I'm surprised this thing has lasted as long as it has. Seems to me like the motor would just run scalding hot and would break real quick. And clearly it's seen a fair bit of abuse over the years, which is unfortunate because now it's quite rare. It blows air kind of more out to the sides than straight in front of it, which is typical for a very poorly designed from aerodynamic standpoints blade. On high it's pulling 0.5 amps, 3.1 the watts with a power factor of 0.51.